16th August 2024 ene fiada baby bia wo bia mema wa ha mema wakwaba mesan so eda wasepa edo basino pain dwumedie so we say amanyo sem dwumedie ahase ne epuso amanyofo ne eje ensem akese a ehinta na aye kataso momu aso ne ye woye ni enti yesi no pain baby a wo bia obetimi ahwe dwumedie e de free think tv online on YouTube, Think TV on Facebook, baby a will be a missile. Should you make if you sound so and on YouTube, Viewpoint with Abena Chebwache on TikTok, I'm Abena One, and then on Instagram, I am Abena One. Of course, on Facebook, Abena Che Boache. Aya many G, Aya Mahua, who has sent them many wabishi sanse, and someone who do be brave, Nababeto, a paso, SSA, Jihon, Ajin Chile. It's baby, I will be a ne. Me guest, Ewa Hase, unfortunately. Emergency BC inti kasamafo a obabetina mu dia ma the New Patriotic Party unfortunately went me ama Drew Hase nanso ye wo NDC side ewo ho no nti sama hodo a aba no ye be pensem mu ne ye di ho komo midin dia bena chei boache me na metina dwumadi ho chia me medical aka chawo ene ensam ahodo baako mienu bi aba beto apaso enti yebedi hu komo ne ye bobo ehun pa we won't sign peace declaration ahead of election, says Esiedu Nketia. Now Esiedu Nketia on the chairman for the National Democratic Congress and was say peace day declaration yakwa sign ye na ye day if it he fabulous why you sign ye was here menka ha mania about 4 years ago election ayekoye se ka to trust some pie course wa na yen na yakwa kwasan na so de na si wo honom nti die ba de na nti moke yen san huhute nti asama ye chairman e ka no na asemo minim se eye den na yan fancy na ye beto so ye be pay ye security analyst for ne age omo so age nche e de afa ho sa enye bia a whole chairman asemo a waken ye threat e ma ya na ana say oh waka ne sa nti ye mfa ne sa eno so e wo ho e san so e na mahama is the fixer eye edem agbana ene ka asemi ubaketu north constituency a ono ena oye parliamentary candidate e wo honom edem agbana nti ne thoughts no we say share ene ya yesika samatete apansam pono mun share ideas ene nsamo a former president ka chese wuti say so wono de se kasa yimbu man ne mbu ni yie pa we number 1 we see nei and some of the two Ghana for him obe create a juma ama mobunu enya bi ha health system infrastructure oba be sit obe ye ni nyina was said go mo shase a MPP for abo atu agu no oba be sie ni nyina nti was Ghana for bia and ekoto nkanka youth no was nya me adma 7th December mukoko mutine de momfa nche the former president John Dramani Mahama no deserve power say ne nema wa ye no so and wo hwe nti e ma na si ne bo aka say he is the fixer ampa abusafo we say ne nsem a ye ba be di eho enkomo na sabre no ye na eho tiawa na ye ngi abofo nkrato nko ba bia baba sesia
Sardine in tomato sauces with me deep with me deep among and it took unimco. Wow, the map of love is son. And near Fekeke.
Wafa, I fed the news on occasion. Habidu,
and you news now what in the beer once and a make the way make auntie Amma sardine in tomato sauces. With base cocoa gal, we are my pro.
Sardine in tomato sauce. Opa Tampa. Sewu pedudu etua. Press 0302 790 353. Ingratui. Edi Fwajiat.
Think Media Expert, your one-stop shop for all your audiovisual and events management needs. Concert, festival, corporate event. We have the latest stage and trusses, lighting equipment, and LED screens to make your event unforgettable. Our team of experts specialize in sound production and audiovisual live streaming, ensuring that your event sounds and looks amazing. Our event setup and sound studio are equipped with the latest technology, staffed by experts, ensuring that your events run smoothly and that your audio content is of the highest quality. At Think Media Experts, we are committed to providing our clients with exceptional service and high-quality audiovisual solutions. Contact us today to learn more about our packages and services. Locate us 100 meters off the Swan Lake Junction, Otublohum Street, North Kaneshi, Accra. Think Media Expert, your #1 event house.
Antiama sadi in tomato sauces. With me the deep with me the among. And it took muko. Wow, and the map of love is and near fekeke.
Wafa, after the news on occasion habidu.
And you news now what in the beer once and a make you will make anti-ama sadi in tomato sauces. With base cocoa gal, we are my friend.
Antiama sadi in tomato sauce. Oba tampa. Se wo pedudu etua. Press 0302 790 353. Ingratui Eddie.
Think Media Expert, your one-stop shop for all your audiovisual and events management needs. Concert, festival, corporate event. We have the latest stage and trusses, lighting equipment, and LED screens to make your event unforgettable. Our team of experts specialize in sound production and audiovisual live streaming, ensuring that your event sounds and looks amazing. Our event setup and sound studio are equipped with the latest technology, staffed by experts, ensuring that your events run smoothly and that your audio content is of the highest quality. At Think Media Experts, we are committed to providing our clients with exceptional service and high-quality audiovisual solutions. Contact us today to learn more about our packages and services. Locate us 100 meters off the Swan Lake Junction, Otublohum Street, North Kaneshi, Accra. Think Media Expert, your #1 event house.
Okay, abusiafo ye guswa edamwase biom eba senupei so ahasai ne pusu amanyofo ne age ensama hodo yakoso o my Ghana mu emu nokre e o my Ghana fo nyina ye hia ye mpekata so mu so bia ene se yatena sese ya medical e de ensama hodo ayeba bekasa e de afa ho eye Ketu North parliamentary candidate wo ho no mo se ye mampanyi dada a nei ono na etu franka de ama NDC ama yoko no wo se wo ye fixa niam ahodo bebre e na wa listinti ye bedo asukwa akom die nti e ma na gina so a wo kasa sanso e na chairman for the National Democratic Congress and so ono so dia to just say mpacho sa na peace one na moma ye nya for so bi enim o ma ye bi ankosi huti nti o mo this time na de o NDC ni bi eni wo bakwa kwata say ye de ense ko she krata ase ama ye pasum due nem de bi o se de bi o mo nye sa ade no nti enna me guest Raymond Edem Tamaklo wɔyɛ national communications team member for NDC and wabɛka me nsa wɔ ha se a yɛba bɛdi nkɔmmɔ nnɛ woba bɛpusa aresa akekam twii no ɛdɛ me mo akɔ aba biribi abɔkɔ deɛ nyame adom me ho yɛ paa menim sɛ yɛ dɛ no a yɛbɛhyɛ nkɔmmɔbɔ no ase no wobɛkyia wo mpanyimfoɔ anaa meboa and then I mean any issue be nso a quickly wopɛ sɛ wo address no nso no na waka ho asɛ na afei zooming into ɛnɛ yɛ discussion no.
Okay, into me, Niameka Nina say I want to issue a disclaimer.
Okay.
Into me, and Shadanye, into I'll be speaking more of the English language, and I also want to use the opportunity to greet every cherished viewer watching us currently. Yeah, and so that is what I'll say about that.
Okay, and Ketu North constituency parliamentary candidate, Edem Agbana. Some my pronouncing it.
Yes, Agbana.
Agbana, okay. Or say. Former president and they want a flag bearer for NDC, Mama Yokono, or the fixer. Na Niama would see even an economic challenge you go through, no. The way I will see address it and some not or buy infrastructure, Niamo BCC, even electricity crown pono that time crisis, energy crisis a buyer, Niamo di gua quam FXA, you know. Was it be being one we seen who quite say. Onfa sa boss body and as a body no emma no sa title no onfa emma no. Do you agree with him?
Yeah, so I agree completely with Edem Agbana when he says that John Mahama is a fixer. This is because the truth of the matter is that if you elect anyone into government or the role of leadership, right, it's a role where you are elected. People repose their confidence in you to find solutions to our problem. Yours is not to be elected into office and then you come and throw your hands in despair and say that I did not envisage or anticipate this particular problem and so I would need time to fix. And so it is not in your place to give or proffer excuses to the challenges you face as a leader. It is in your place, it is your duty, it is your responsibility, just as the confidence has been reposed in you, to find innovative solutions to challenges that you are confronted with as a leader. And so when President John Dramani Mahama came into office, there were a plethora of challenges that Ghana as a country was confronted with. A plethora of challenges that he himself, as president and as a leader of Ghana, was confronted with. Just as you've mentioned, the issue of Dumso, he needed to find mechanisms and ways, effective and long-lasting ways, to deal with the menace and challenge of Dumso. You can bear with me. You will bear with me on the fact that Dumso had been with us, even in the erstwhile administration of President Kufuor. We had Dumso during that time. The solution that was proffered to us at the time was for leadership or for government to assemble pastors, took them to Akosombo to go and pray. When President Mahama came into office, he made it a point
to go and pray against Dumso.
Yes, in 2007, yes. President Kufuor assembled prophets, pastors, to go to Akosombo, to go and pray to God, so that Dumso will come to a cease. That was the solution that was proffered to us. And it's on the record. If you look at it, you'd find it on the record. Now, when President Mahama came into office, he told the Ghanaian people, gave them a promise that he was going to find long-lasting solutions to our power crisis. It is why he invested massively, brought in car power, brought in Ameri plant, invested in the Tuabo gas plant. Today, the single investment of the Tuabo gas plant gives us a revenue shortfall of about $300 million yearly. He added onto our power grid and effectively as a leader brought the Dumso menace to an end. When he was president, he faced other challenges. The plummeting of prices when it comes to our major exports, the commodities that earn for us foreign exchange. I'm talking about gold, I'm talking about cocoa and the likes, and our oil. The prices, so, you know, when it comes to the fiscal, like a financial year, or when it comes to government drawing its financial plan for a year, the government factors in the revenues we are going to generate from every sector. And so now, you you draw your budget, you do your estimations of the revenues you are going to rake in, and then you plan the programs and policies you are going to execute for a financial year. And so all of those were made, and then only for us to find out that there were exogenous challenges where the prices of our commodities on the international markets had plummeted. And so it slashed our revenue incomes into half. But President Mahama did not throw his hands in despair. Did not come back and tell the Ghanaian people that, my people, I am not going to be able to deliver on my promises to you. I am not going to be able to deliver on my policy propositions to you just simply because there is a plummeting in our commodity prices or our budget has been slashed in half. He found innovative ways and means. When you go to infrastructure, he invested massively in infrastructure, the proportions of which we have never seen until...
Let me chip in this. One may ask that amidst all these challenges you are talking about, there wasn't anything like global pandemic. At some baby bear working in Obibaka say COVID-19 was a global pandemic.
Yes.
Even the so-called developed countries, they were facing a lot of challenges. Even now, I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong, a lot of them are even struggling to be on their feet. But the doomsday challenge you're talking about in the era of the former president cannot be compared to the global pandemic. What do you say about that? And then I'll back abusia for Mr. Mo fanche me Adam my main come tree Mr. Obama de you know who be an also catch tree na me chire uchi.
Okay, but
me pese ye be so sinu pain tree program anti
okay, I will try my best.
I
will try my
I just
best.
am tisi man that my people are messing out.
Yes, okay, I'll try my best. It's almost say COVID-19 virus, no. A virus plagued the entire world.
Yeah.
And it to me, and Johnny free that fact is a virus that plagued the entire world. Economies came down crashing. But I was saying yes, yet to me recognize it, say the COVID was a blessing in disguise for us as a country.
How?
It was a blessing for us because of the COVID-19 pandemic, we had a lot of inflows, support from the IMF, right? We had support from the World Bank. The World Bank gave us $430 million to fight the COVID-19 pandemic.
Oh, was it enough?
Yes.
Okay.
The IMF gave us $1 billion. $1 billion. You know how much that is? To fight COVID-19 pandemic. The total inflow we had to combat the health crisis of COVID-19 amounted to somewhere around 21 billion Ghana cedis. In fact, when the finance minister at the time, Ofuriata, time now called parliament, or catch parliament say the amount of money we needed to combat the crisis, a year, 12.5 billion Ghana cedis. And so you can see from the fact, and what I am telling you, the figures I am mentioning to you, is contained in the Auditor General's report, which are very verifiable. And then where he admitted that Ghana spent 12.5 billion Ghana cedis on the COVID-19 pandemic is also contained in the budget statement for that particular year. And so these are verifiable facts that I am spewing here or saying over here. So we needed only 12.5 billion Ghana cedis to combat COVID-19 when we had in excess of over 20 billion Ghana cedis. And so in this way, you could see that we had a lot of resources coming to the government, right? Now, there is another question that always baffles my mind. We say that we're not able to do a lot of things because of COVID-19 pandemic. The question is, you yourself has admitted in your submission that COVID-19 plagued every single country under the sun, right? But why is it that at the time, our economic indicators were far worse than any of the countries? Okay, why is it that within the period when COVID-19 was plaguing countries, bringing economies into recession and onto their knees. Businesses were expatriating their resources, their infrastructures, their investments away from Ghana to neighboring Cote d'Ivoire. Did COVID-19 not affect Cote d'Ivoire? You look at the macroeconomic indicators, you're talking about inflation, you're talking about employment or unemployment rates, you're talking about cost of living, living standard, and all of those things. Cote d'Ivoire was in a far better place than we were. Togo was in a far better place than we were. Benin, Nigeria, all of these countries were all in a far better places within the period than we were. And so if we say that...
Adam, if you say they were far better than... I mean, what actually prompted you to even think of... What do you mean by far better? Far better than us?
So if I say far better, so you see, you look at economic indicators. These are the indices or the indexes, okay, that show whether or not your government is performing. And so, for example, you look at, like I said, inflation rate. What was the inflation rate at the time? In Cote d'Ivoire, inflation was around 4%. You can look at that. You look at unemployment rate. It was beneath 5%. You look at the budget deficit. We ran a budget deficit in excess over some 20%. How is that? You look at Togo, you look at Nigeria, you look at Cote d'Ivoire and all of those places, budget deficit never rose beyond 10%. And so this is what I say. When I say that these countries were in a far better place than we were, I am talking about the economic indices that show the performance of governance. And the indices that show the performance of governance are measured on these scales. Even before COVID-19 came in 2019, okay, our cedi depreciated against the dollar by 12.9%. So you tell me if we're doing any better. And so, like I was saying, it is not in a place of a government to throw their hands in despair in the face of challenges and say that, oh, because of exogenous factors, because of COVID-19, we've not been able to do this or that. Now, this is a very interesting fact. Do you know that in just 2022 alone, the Bank of Ghana extended an overdraft to our central government in excess of some 77 billion Ghana cedis, which was, okay, I will not even talk about that, the fact that it was illegal and all of that, but this is the focus of my conversation. Extended over maritime, I'm talking about the MPS port, I'm talking about Terminal 3. All of these projects, massive infrastructure projects, okay, the magnitude of which has never been seen since Nkrumah's time. All of these were done. And so when Edem Agbana says that he calls Mahama the fixer, I call him, or some other people also call him, the nation builder. This is why we call him the nation builder.
And Adam, someone may ask, if the former president, was able to execute all these things, then why the need of coming back? What at all is he coming to do? Because he's done his best.
So, you see, like you said, rightly, Mahama did his best. Because of sloganeering, okay, lip services, how to couch flowery promises, propaganda, people thought that they wanted more. They thought that the NPP was a political party that could give them more. And it was on the basis of the unrealistic promises that the NPP was proffering in 2016, the propaganda they were engaged in. So on that basis, the Ghanaian people voted for the NPP. If you like, let's go into a particular assessment, a detailed assessment of the promises they made. We talk about the economic policy of the NPP that has failed, that has collapsed. They told us that President Akufo-Addo himself, in his campaign in 2016, told the people of Ghana that he brought Bawumia simply because of his economic acumen. He said the man was so intelligent, the man had unimpeachable and superior knowledge in economics, and he was bringing Bawumia to come and correct our economic defects. They said that exchanging the cedi, 4 cedis for $1, was bad economic management. And so it is a singular reason why he, President Akufo-Addo, candidate at the time, had brought in Bawumia, who was not even a card-bearing member of the NPP. He was brought on merit, on his acumen. He was a technocrat. He was economic risk kid or messiah. It was the only reason why the president brought him in 2016. When they came into office, today, how much are we exchanging the cedi for $1 for? 16 cedis to $1. What is the inflation rate? Inflation has risen from 15% in 2016 to somewhere around 54% in 2022. 54%. Did you read the World Bank report on inflation in 2022? It said that because of the 54% inflationary rate at the time, over 800,000 people had been plunged beneath the poverty lines simply because of inflation. You see, so when government economic policies fails, it affects all of us. The only economic policy that they actually had was borrowing. Their plan was to borrow. And you see, usually or normally, there wouldn't be a problem with borrowing when you borrow and you invest in self-financing projects that would refinance the monies that have been invested. But when you borrow and you invest in consumption expenditure, it is where the problem is. For that reason, we became unsustainable. We could not service our debts, and if you are not credit worthy, nobody would want to borrow to you anymore. It got to a point where we cannot even service our creditors, the domestic creditors. And so for that reason, people who have worked their lives, who have made investment to government, pensioners, people who are old, were giving them haircuts. The government was literally going to the account of people and taking out money because they had no money. The government was broke. Why is the government broke?
And Adam,
Is it, hold on. Is it the fault of my grandmother or my father that the government is broke? And so why must his pensions be locked? So you see, so for all of these reasons, these are the considerations for which President John Dramani Mahama is coming back again.
Okay.
Because the country is on a decline.
Okay, one may ask that, per the things you're saying, meaning the country has deteriorated.
Completely, absolutely.
Okay. Absolutely.
Yes, it
Then
has.
where is the former president going to, find money to fix all these, problems?
So you see, it is about prudent leadership, prudent economic leadership. There is one challenge that plagues us very much as a country. It is the issue of unemployment and unproductivity. It is the reason for which, upon thorough introspection, examination, President Mahama is promising a 24-hour economy. If we are able to get the concept of a 24-hour and its implementation very right as a government and as a country, most of our challenges, including the depreciation of the cedi.
Yeah, so talking about 24-hour economy, I know the health institution, majority of them are practicing that already. So is he going to, single out certain institutions to, begin practicing the 24-hour economy?
So,
because there are a lot of, places that if you tell me, for instance, the banks, how are you going to inculcate 24-hour economy in the banks? Because our system is such that at night, hardly do you get people working. You get it, with the exception of the clubs and the pubs and all that. So if you, for instance, DVLA, you say moving forward, you're going to inculcate that into such an institution. How are they going to practice it? How? Can you break it down for me?
You go to
I mean, not myself alone. I'm actually asking a question for the viewers.
For the purposes of our viewers watching us and listening to us. So you would attest with me that you go to the DVLA, you go to the passport offices, you see how they are choked. It is simply because government workers in those departments go to work at 9 and close at 5, right? And so by the
It's
24,
8 to 8, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m.
okay, 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Because of that, the places are choked. You turn in an application and you have to wait for so long for processes to go on, and so it has become cumbersome and problematic for all of us. That we can attest to, and that is some of the challenges that the 24-hour economy is coming to cure. And so we are saying that it is one job, but it is also 3 shifts and 3 people. And so if Kojo goes to work at the passport office or at the DVLA from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m., he closes. Amma continues from 5 p.m. into the night. She closes. Then Kelvin comes to complete the rest of the shift. And so around the clock, you can go to the passport office, you can go to the DVLA and perform whatever transaction you want to perform. You see how swift and easy it makes things. Now you've also made reference to the banks, that because we don't usually operate during the night, you don't have a lot of people in the night and all those things. So how can a bank be compelled or asked to operate in the night? Do you know that the new Tema port terminal, the MPS port, that was built by Mahama, runs 24/7. Now imagine that we operationalize the entire port to run 24/7. If let's say you need to clear your goods in the night because the port has been operationalized 24/7, you may have to perform some transactions in some of the banks closer to the port in Tema. And so that is how those banks are going to be operationalized to run 24/7. We're talking about the extractive sector. We're talking about agro-processing, hospitality, and so all the sectors. So if you say that, oh, some businesses are already operating 24/7, and so there is no need for us to implement a 24-hour economy as a matter of government policy, it is flawed. Why is it flawed? Sometimes, why do we champion policies or projects? It is because we have seen the potency or the potential in such a policy. Maybe it is a practice that is already going on, okay? And so if we are able to focus government's energy, attention, and resources on that endeavor, it is going to inure to the benefit of everyone. And so if there is good in something, we cannot say because there is good in this, people are already practicing this, we cannot maximize that good for the benefit of all persons. So this is the reason why if you go to London, there's a deliberate policy on 24-hour economy. When you go to the US, 2 out of 5 workers in the US are employed in a 24-hour economy policy. So why can't we implement 24-hour economy in Ghana?
Let's look at the other aspect of this 24-hour economy. I mean, employing 3 people within an institution, like for instance, a job that ideally one person will be doing, and per what you said, there has been a lot of backlogs. And now, when the NDC, are voted in power, they are going to, bring back the 24, or even inculcate, because it's not there already. Already, the governments are suffering when in terms of, money, payrolls, each and every day you see strikes here and there, people asking for increments in their salaries, and we are going to bring additional two each. I don't think it is going to be overbearing for the government.
So, what are the major sources of income for government? Taxes, isn't it?
But already people are saying the taxes are
listen,
too much.
Yeah, so
You're going to
no.
incorporate additional tax.
You see, you've not listened to me.
Okay.
So, one of the major revenue stream for a government is taxes, right? Now, here is the point. When you make the business environment very hostile for businesses, and you impose a lot of taxes on them, and because of this relatively high cost of doing business, they don't even get customers to patronize them, but they have to pay nerve-wracking, throat-cutting taxes to the government. That is where the problem is. But now, imagine that we operationalize a 24-hour economy, okay, where there is production, where there is demand, where there is supply, where businesses are given incentives, and businesses are running, without any hindrances of any sort. They are making their incomes. Don't you think tax incomes will come to government?
And what are some of the throat-cutting, taxes? what you said, meaning the government is going to run on taxes to increase
So
the number of
so the point I am making to you is that when businesses are working, okay, there is demand, there is supply, they are making income, they are able to pay their taxes to government. That is the point I'm making. But the challenge is where the businesses are not making any income and they still have to pay taxes to government. But when we operationalize 24-hour economy, where there is demand, there is supply, there's productivity, the businesses are making their money and all of those things, the taxes come to government because there is productivity. So productivity affects government incomes directly. And so if we are working, there's productivity, corporate income tax, corporate incomes, there'll be taxes on it, and we will not even feel it because we are getting what we are due. And so that is the way government is going to make its money. Another issue that bothers us as a country and the government itself has to do with the exchange rate. Now, the dollar to CD ratio, you need 16 cedis to exchange $1. Okay? And you know that even that calculation affects our external debt and all of those things. It is one of the reasons why we have cost of goods in the country even going up. Because when you import, this exchange rate affects what you import. Do you get the point? And so one of the things we have to do is to stabilize that relation between the CD and the dollar. We have this relationship also because we are an import-dependent economy, which simply means that we're not able to produce and consume the things we need as a country in Ghana. We have to import everything. But if we are able to substitute that import dependency to the point where we produce to meet our own needs, to the point where we produce to export. When you produce to export, you earn foreign exchange. When there is more dollar in the economy, it would mean that your CD will gain relative stability against the dollar. Do you understand? I don't know if I get to my point. Do you understand me? And so we can simply solve our issue of import dependency by implementing a 24-hour economy whereby we produce the things we need domestically and we produce things for exportation. Once we are able to do that, you have substituted your import-dependent economy into an export-led economy, which will be earning us foreign exchanges. And so these are some of the ways in which we can get the fundamentals of our economy very right.
Adam, per the things you said, don't you think that's the same approach that the current ruling government is using? And one may ask, like I asked earlier, that the former president had an opportunity. Was he not able to, do all these things? Or when he had the opportunity, is it that he couldn't get enough time to, put in place all these measures that you're talking about? What at all is he coming to? What at all is he coming to? What different is he going to make? Okay. You get it? What at all is he going to?
That is what I've been explaining to you all this while.
Before we'll be going for break shortly.
Okay.
Let's compare former President John Dramani Mahama's administration to the current Akufo-Addo Bawumia's administration. What would you say?
So, the current regime has been a massive letdown, has been a massive retrogression from the path of progress that President Mahama has set this nation on. And if you juxtapose the various indicators, of the two administrations, you will see the manifestation. Inflation in 2016 was 15%. Today, it is well above 25%.
Don't forget, there was no COVID during that time.
I keep explaining.
Russia, Ukraine. I wish the representative of MPP to, were here to defend all these things. And I'm asking questions. These are the basic things people will be, asking.
You see, you cannot make any logical conclusion that the rate of inflation to the point where it even rose to 54%.
But the finance minister promised that from now to the end of December, we are going to have about 15%, inflation. Because it was 44 and 54. I mean, somebody can correct me if I'm wrong. These are 22.
Yes.
And it's by the end of the year we should look at 15%.
Before I will address that, I want to tell you the reason why there was a hike in inflation in 2022.
Mm-hmm.
If anyone says that the hike in inflation in 2022 was affected by COVID-19, the person is a plain liar.
Why?
The person does not fear God.
Why? Hey, the person does not
He
fear
does
God.
not fear God.
Why?
Why? Because the reason why there was a hike in inflation in 2022 was for the simple fact that the Bank of Ghana,
Mm-hmm.
okay, through unapproved means,
Don't tell me borrowing.
no,
borrowed
they
money.
printed money.
They what?
They printed money to the tune of 77 billion Ghana cedis for the government as overdraft.
So that was the cost.
Yes, when you have excess money, okay, chasing fewer goals in the system, it sends the rate of inflation very high, very high. Ask yourself, wouldn't it make sense that if we have the means to print money, why wouldn't the government just be printing money? These are some of the economic reasons why government or central banks are not allowed to print money above a certain threshold. Do you understand? But we disregarded all of these means to the point where when you sent the time they were even introducing the 100 cedis and 200 cedis notes into the system, they printed this money for the government first. When you know that, according to law, it is the banks that is in charge of distributing these monies.
They printed to the government first.
Yes, so the money came into the system before it was even introduced to the bank. So people were taking the money to the bank,
Oh,
and the
how?
bank was
How-
the bank.
No, but we're advised to go to the bank. I mean, if you have the old currency, you take it to the bank,
Yeah,
then they
so
change to,
this is a
the new currency. And now you're saying, so where did you get that information or that
So-
facts from?
We can Google right now, or if
That it
when
was
you have
with,
when you have a back staff.
that it was
So
back
listen,
staff from where? Banks.
no. I mean, like when you have a back staff that can verify what I am saying. So in 2022, when they printed the new bills,
No, what shows? Of course, no, Adam. We can be having a conversation.
Yes,
I mean, on
so
of course, we
ye-
need to, have
Yes.
an evidence that
Yes.
people were holding the new currency,
listen.
taking to the bank without the bank
Listen.
even having the new currency. Or how?
The banks were declining the money that they were fake. Bank of Ghana had to issue a statement that the monies are not fake and that it is from them. It is online.
Online. What's
so-
the source? I mean, if you
But
say online,
don't you have a
online
back
where?
staff?
Online where?
I can put. I will
Please,
put,
I want an evidence.
will-
I beg you. No, I want an evidence. And to wrap up with this section,
Yes.
you were talking about the NDC, or the promises from
Good.
John Dramani Mahama
Good.
will be based on, using tax, revenue to run the country and all that.
Yes,
But
when we
I
have
mean,
a-
recently, when the youth launched their manifesto, the president the manifesto, they said they are going to take off or slash off the bet, tax. And this same tax that he's going to use to run, and now he said he's going to slash everything off. So how is he going to, run it?
So you see, when you listen to my communication very well, you see the trick is not about imposing.
So you mean no? Sorry. So you mean the betting tax is a throat cutting, tax?
Isn't it?
No, I'm asking. Hey, please. How would I know? How would I know?
Isn't it? You see, when we want to look at every policy or economic measure of the government, you will find a level of absurdity in it. So now, when the government was introducing the 10% betting tax, you know the justification? They said it was preemptive to stop the youth from engaging in the activities of betting. Now, if you want to preempt young people...
Are you in approval of the betting,
so
thing?
you listen to me.
No, I'm asking a question.
Yes,
before you
but
go.
I'm making a point.
Do you approve?
I am making a
Do you
point.
support
I am-
betting? Do you support betting? Sinupay, do you support betting?
See me.
Adam.
Me can't say
Oh,
much.
come on. No, you will say it, but I mean, you
See
answer
me.
that. for
So
me.
you see, when you listen to
Are
me,
you in support of that?
when you listen to me,
No, I will listen to you, but
Yes,
I mean,
hold
answer
on.
me because
Yes.
are you in support of that?
seconds.
Because you said the government said the rate at which the youths are
are engaged in the activity
of betting.
It is a reason why they introduced the tax. Do you get it? Now, when you listen to me, you will find the answer you want from
No,
me.
but you
Yes,
are
so
you
you
in
find the
support?
answer.
No,
So you-
I will
hold
get
on.
it all right, but I want to know: are you
Hold
in
on.
support of
Hold
betting?
on.
No, Adam, we are having a conversation.
Of course. So
Are
I'm
you in
making,
support
you see,
of
when
betting?
when you listen to me, the answer you want from me, you will find
You
it.
answer. Are
Yes,
you
so
in
I'm
support
answering
of
you.
it?
So I'm answering you.
Are you in support?
answering
Yes
you.
or no? Are you in support? Then
I-
you give me your
you
your
see,
analysis. Are you in support
you
of
have
it?
to listen. You see, so
Hey, Adam, you can. It means you yourself. You're not in support of that. You know very well that the youth are
I have
engaging.
not said that I am not in support of betting. I have not said that. But the point
So you are in support of it?
no, listen to me. I want you to listen to me. When you listen to me, you find the answer you want. So the point I'm trying to make, okay, is that the government's justification is that they want to prevent or preclude young people from engaging in the acts of betting because according to them, it is unproductive, right? Now, there is a situation of high unemployment situation in the country. Unemployment in Ghana currently stands at 14.7%.
So is there a
Indeed.
reason?
Listen.
The unemployment situation is pushing the youth into
listen.
betting activities.
You are distorting my
I'm
my
not
thought.
distorting
No,
you.
So you listen. I want you to listen to me. There's a credible report that the high situation of unemployment in Ghana today is a national security threat. Where in any country around the world where there is high unemployment situation, there is a direct correlation with crime rates. Crime rates go up because the youth are not employed, and so they have to engage in all manner of social vices to survive. So it affects crime rates directly. It goes up. But in Ghana, what do you have? Instead of the youth who are not employed engaging in activities of criminality, they are rather engaging in betting. Which of the evils would you rather have? Which one of them is a lesser evil? It is a betting.
So to
You have not- you see,
so to you, instead of
you
engaging
have not
in
dispatched- you have not
illicit
dispatched-
activities, you prefer them to engage in betting activities.
It is way better.
Okay.
Engaging in betting, even the government itself is taking taxes from the betting companies that have come. Who do you think gave the rights to the betting companies to operate in Ghana? And so even the government itself, who is basing its argument on morality, is benefiting monetarily from the betting companies.
But so meaning
It is no crime. Under Ghanaian law,
taxing
you
them
see-
10%
you see,
is in a
under-
way to
under-
demoralize them in engaging in such activities. But you
Exactly.
are saying
But
taking it off
if
will
you
rather
have
put
not-
them. But
if
but,
you have
but,
not provided a
Good.
means of income,
and now the
if you have not provided jobs, you are sleeping on your responsibility.
Okay, and now the former president is saying when he comes, he's going to create a lot of jobs for the youth.
Yes.
Then why are you taking out the tax
Do you think that Rome
on
was
the
built?
bet winners?
Do you think that Rome was built in a day?
Okay,
or,
so to
or
take a
that-
process, then it means
or
4
that
years is not enough for him.
It is enough.
Okay. I will say for
It
I
is
have
very
say
much
I
enough.
butu.
It is very much enough.
So and I will say Jumedi free. Edem. My guest Raymond Edem Tamaklo or your communications team member for the National Democratic Congress and ane meneno cheche and come yeda ye hu tiawa ne agya from krato e baba sisia.
Adi in tomato sauces. Within the deep within the deep among and it took muko. Wow, the map of love son. And near Fekeke.
Wafa, after the news on occasion, Habidu.
And you news now what in the beer once and a miko. You will make anti ama sadi in tomato sauces. With base Kukuga, we are mepro. Antiama sadi in tomato sauces. With me deep with me the among and it took muko. Wow, the map of love son. And near Fekeke.
Wafa, after the news on occasion, Habidu.
And you news now what in the beer once and a miko. You will make anti ama sadi in tomato sauces. With base Kukuga, we are mepro.
Antiama Sadi in tomato sauce. Oba Tampa. Sewo pedudu etua. Press 0302 790 353. Ingratui, ADF Wajiatu.
Meda Ashafo nyina sese no pay and so na wo hwe dwumadie if we Think TV online YouTube and then Think TV Facebook or hwe dwumadie free also and a viewpoint with Abena Cheboche on YouTube and so will be PM or TikTok I'm Abena one and so yes to me like Facebook Abena Che Boache yes to me live ewo e honom yanyi bibi antuma jese no kwenti abusua so who say mene edem net say you know I need to push him to get the actual facts from him. Because politicians, yeah, man, make some na no quite bear so measures bang and I will put it in place. I must add the Okasa obey no obey. Yes, I'll become mama ye promises baby on one casa in a way with the any sloganeering. How different is yours from theirs? And when you know idea, I say you won't need na and they yet see some for a sign that a ponono ano. NDC wants sign peace declaration ahead of elections, says Esiedu Nketia. Says a peace declaration. Oshana Mayoko no first was near the almost as a crata say ye pass some G, ye be make sure see a chidifuina, ye be preacher some GSM, Edia Chairwoman, NDC ni, and as who knew MPP near on your town for unia CPP ni, ACP ni, a gum, a quiadonco, or munina, ye wunia, and see a chawajan chamajin, and yen tokwaso, aha, into a mumpenny fona could jina honum, to almost sign you are no much yet, no maha geno mudin como to signify his peace. And no, and a chairman for the National Democratic Congress say, or must sign na fifth a year chairmu or mukoto abano and tokwa a see yeno, nanya sem ketua. Na any peace you know declaration ebi no mo omo echo sign e abusa for ye na ye hona ye nhwe video nearby besa abetwa ye discussion is
any problem if you allow violence to be brewed. You have violence, whether you sign declaration or not. And so that is why, for more than a year ago, I started talking about the need for us to remove the building blocks for violent elections. So at any stage, when something is happening, I call on those who in future will call us to sign declarations to speak up so that we stop this particular thing from happening. Otherwise, if you allow all those things to build up, and you say that, let us go and play peace football match, let us sign declaration, let us do this with the hope that we will get a peaceful election. Peaceful election will not happen. Because we did all this in 2020. All this and more in 2020. Council of State, Peace Council, everybody was involved. Signing declarations left, right, center. The 2020 election turned out to be the most violent elections in the whole of the Fourth Republic.
So this year, not
so
signing.
it tells you that signing or no signing is not the issue.
And yo webusia for na a chairman for the NDC Johnson Esiedu Nketia Sama Okai and also 2020 election was one of the most violent election ever in the history of our voting system no and na enti asama mimi bisa kese pa na se sebio enti se wo na obati fie na waman aduane bi odiwe wan horo chensi mu enu nti ose me man aduane bio obuofu eno example amede to hu no ye papa Esiedu Nketia se o makosen san ya o masensan ya na oye no bi aba nti enu nti no o mo nkosan abre we say abre ya ye papa ka asemi is it the right time minim se o mo mabunu bebre e wo edi o machi o mo tse sa asem we say ya e ade a ebeboa ye mabunu no ana asem ya wo ke no so na say no so ebetimi aye takara wo jam ebe kwa kofa nsem bi aba na we say ni ade a ye kasa de afa ho na rep of free NDC wa say dey maybe sana Adam.
Yeah.
You side with the national chairman.
Yeah, so I associate completely with the national chairman of the NDC. Yes, I do. It is for the simple fact that, but even before I go into that, we must establish and acknowledge that our ambition, our national development ambitions, or the contributions, the efforts, the endeavors, the strives we make to ensure or realize our national development goals is dependent and hinges on a very peaceful and a tranquil society. And so without a peaceful environment that is enabling, we cannot achieve our national development goals. That is well established. And the NDC, as a political party and as a corporate body, better understands this reality, that our peace and tranquility as a nation is important. And we have continued to make strides to contribute to a tranquil, peaceful, and an enabling environment for all the years that the NDC has come into power, has come into existence as a political party. That must be established. There is no gainsaying that. It goes without saying, right? But you see, when you say that political parties should be invited to come and sign a peace pact, a piece of paper, to make a commitment, just by way of signing a paper, that there is not going to be violence in our electioneering processes, it does nothing. Ensuring that there is peace, ensuring that there is tranquility is not a matter of wishful thinking. The peace pact is not a magic wand to just bring into existence or bring into being a peaceful environment. Just by the simple fact of signing a piece of paper does not in any way impact on our environment.
Are you sure?
And so the argument of our national chairman is that instead of signing a piece of paper, we must begin to work. We must begin to show the willingness, demonstrate that we are committed in deed and in action, not just by posturing or by saying. It must not be lip service. It must not be knee-jerk. Let's get to work. The justifications are there for us to see. There was a peace pact in 2020. But what happened in the aftermath or during the elections in 2020? We lost 8 innocent lives in the 2020 election. Never seen before, ever, in the electioneering regime or history of our country. Why must that have to happen? Even beyond that fact, the fact that 8 people lost their lives completely for no reason, just because we're having elections in Ghana, nothing has been done to this point. The Peace Council has not spoken. The Peace Council has not compelled or prevailed upon our president to ensure justice for the 8 lives that were lost.
Adam, you will side with me that the national chairman is, excuse me, is not just an ordinary person.
He is not.
And I believe it's been the Peace Council or whatever institution, they got in touch with him. Don't you think it would have been prudent to, say it behind the scenes than to come out publicly to announce that we are not going to sign that? And even come to think of it, signing these peace declaration, forms or whatever, is it going to take something out of your manifesto? Don't you think, the various representatives coming together, exchange, pleasantries and all that, will even send a message to the people or their followers that we are the peacemakers and we stand for peace. You seeing us, chit-chatting with our colleagues, represent peace. So if you see your brother, your sister in the other political party, you shouldn't be violent towards that person. Don't you think it would have gone a long way? Or because there has been, past occurrences and all that, so he's actually basing on that to say we are not signed. Is he I mean, he being the national chairman for the NDC, don't you think it would have been better not to come out publicly to, make such a declaration?
We like it when we engage in the cosmetics. Okay? We engage in the surface matters.
Who, as in the NDC, or who? Oh, okay.
You are even saying, for example, that we sign a peace pact, we laugh with our colleagues beyond the divide, or on the other side of the divide.
Not the surface of it, and go fight beneath. That's not what I'm trying to say.
You see, that is the reality of the matter. There can be no peace when the beneath of the surface is in turmoil. See, that is what the national chairman is trying to advert our minds to. That if there is no concrete foundation upon which we can ensure a peaceful environment upon, then by mere gestures of signing peace declaration or pacts or laughing with our colleagues beyond the divide is not what is going to ensure that peaceful environment when we do not tackle the fundamental issues. His concern, his prior or utmost concern is the fact that the very elements, the very things that can bring mayhem, distortion, disturbances between us, the social fabric of our country, that can bring distortion amongst us, is not being addressed. We are living them. For example, like I've already mentioned, the elections. We saw what happened in the elections. 2, on the crucial matter of failure of government economic policy. You saw what happened in Kenya, didn't you? The peaceful unrest, to the point where young people of that country invaded the parliament of Kenya and drove out members of parliament. People died in that demonstration because government was intransigent, because government was not living up to the expectation of its people. In our country, the government is failing, but it is refusing to recognize to the people that it is failing. It has refused to remain accountable to the people. When we complain, they tell us that the youth are lazy and that we must fix ourselves first before we come to the table. These are provocative. These actions, these utterances, this posturing of government swells a certain sense of discontent among young people. It builds frustration. And if this frustration is not managed over a long period of time, it explodes. It explodes to what we have seen in Kenya. And so it is not just merely about signing peace pacts. You have listened to a leading member of the NPP, a member of their government, the agriculture minister, who continually is making provocative, vexatious, and abrasive comments and statements, saying that under no circumstances, in a democratic dispensation, where the will of the people must manifest, are they going to relinquish the reins of government to any political party?
So not sign this peace declaration is a solution to what you're saying?
It is adverting our minds to a bigger problem. It is telling us that we need to get to work. So it is telling us that we need to tackle the actual threats and danger to our peace.
To the ruling government or to the youth?
To the ruling governments, to the youth, to all the stakeholders in our democratic dispensation, all of us. It is pricking our consciences to wake up, to say that it is not about cosmetics, it is not about the gestures we make on papers, it is about the frantic efforts we make, our willingness to ensure it. When there is conversation about the interior minister or the government making secret recruitments into our security services.
Do you have evidence to that?
When
Because I think they banked,
that is the posturing.
That's
That is the
information
posturing.
out there.
That is the posturing. When there is concern, let's investigate. Let's look into it. Don't say, do you have any evidence? When, for
Of
example,
course, but you can't just
see, what is
say
more
that-
vexatious?
Because these are some
You
of the
see-
things that is
you
that,
see,
that
what
you
is more of a threat?
No, hold on, Adam. These are some of the things we are all speaking against. Misinformation, because there are a lot of people watching us and we need to educate
think-
them
you think-
rather.
you
You
think-
get it?
so
So
you-
we can just,
Jesus
you know,
Christ.
trust me.
Please,
I'm
don't do
sorry.
this.
I'm sorry to
Don't
say.
trivialize the
no,
conversation.
no. I'm
You
sorry
see-
to say this. I won't allow
And
you
so
to
are you
spill out
equating?
things that
So are
we
you
do not
equating?
have,
So are you
you know,
trying to?
evidence to.
So is it that
I
I'm?
won't. No, I won't allow that.
want to
because if
understand
you
you.
sit here and say that there has
understand
been
you.
a secret recruitment,
I want to understand
what
you.
shows?
I want-
Do you have people that
I
have
want
been
to.
recruited
I want to understand you. I want
into these security
I
institutions?
want to understand you properly. Is it that you are saying that we saying that there is currently secret recruitment into our
I don't know about that.
I'm talking about me and the people making the assertions and all of those, my political party, and all of the people.
So is your
You see,
political party
and all of the people,
making such allegations, right?
please. So,
But that is what you just said.
but is it your thinking that because my
Adam,
political party says it,
that is
it is not a
what you-
reality,
you-
or it should be trivialized, or it should be swept under the carpet? Is that
Anyway,
is that what you want us to believe? And
If
okay,
I don't
and
have
is
the
it also-
facts and
is
if
it-
I'm not
is it-
known to
so is
that,
it- and it-
I can't join you
So-
to sing that same
so
song.
would you allow me?
Do you understand?
Allow me.
No,
Allow
you
me.
too. You know,
Allow me.
you have to bear with me
I-
from
you
where
see,
I'm coming from.
I get your point, but the point I am making to you, or what I want to understand from you, is that is it your thinking that the minority group in parliament, okay, would just wake up in one day without any thorough assessment, without interception of intelligence, come to the people of Ghana and make such grievous allegations? It is not. It is probably based on the reality, what is happening, the real threat to our democracy.
Let me give you a typical example. On this show, that was last Wednesday, the national youth organizer went to a sister station, Opariado to be precise, that TVET is not inculcated in the entrance, the free entrance, technical universities are not part of it. Sami Jemfi went on another platform to say they are part. So on I interviewed him. Then he said, I apologize. I'm sorry. I made a mistake. So if you sit here to tell me that the minority cannot make a mistake, so everything they bring out is the truth, then I'm sorry. I beg to differ. No, I've given you an example. How is that not correlated? Because you are sitting here to say that people, they've been secretly recruited in the security system. And I said, I don't have facts to that. Imagine what Opariado said.
Did you see the
I will
release?
use that. No.
Interior Ministry, they say that the
That
reason
they've recruited people.
the reason why
That they've recruited
listen
people.
to me. So allow me to make my point. You're not allowing me to make my point, and that is becoming problematic.
I'm allowing
you see,
you.
The point I'm making to
I'm
you is
allowing
that
you, but
the
I just
ministry,
want you to state the
the
facts.
Interior Ministry is telling you that the reason why they've not announced the recruitment, it is because there's a backlog. How does that make any sense to you? Even if there's a backlog and you're trying to clear the backlog, there is a public interest or duty behoved on you to make an announcement so that any person who is part of this backlog, who has not been admitted into any of the services, would come forward. If there is any measure they have to take, they take it, so that everybody is presented with equal opportunities. So I am not sitting here making those allegations. The ministry itself has made an allusion to the fact that indeed there is a recruitment going on, but the reason why it has not been announced, it is because they are clearing backlogs. Is that any sound justification to you? And so when the minority comes out to bear the facts out, to advert our minds to the things that are happening, you don't equate it to misinformation, because these are the realities. And that is what the national chairman is seeking to advert our minds to. These are the things that have the potential to distort the peace we currently enjoy as a country.
Okay.
You
Adam.
today, hold on.
We are
Last
wrapping
point.
up. I mean, 1
hold
minute.
on, hold on.
yeah,
Yes.
to wrap up.
One more point. The Electoral Commission that has a constitutional mandate to prosecute the 2024 elections, which is supposed to be a neutral arbiter and overseer of our electoral regime, appointed a known member and activist of the NPP, Dr. Apiehini, as an official of the Electoral Commission. The NDC, as a stakeholder in our democracy, has continued to hammer on this point, talk about it, say that the mere fact that you appoint a member of the NPP, the opposition, or of the ruling governing party, as part of a board that is supposed to be neutral, that is going to supervise our elections, you make him a member of that institution, it calls the credibility and integrity of the electoral process into question. It is a recipe
Okay.
and a threat to our democracy and to our peace.
Okay.
What has the Peace Council, those who say that they are interested in our peace, what have they done?
Okay.
And so it is not about lip services. It is not about the cosmetics. It is about taking concrete actions.
Okay.
When there are things that threaten our democracy and our peace that we enjoy as a country, we must all make conscious, frantic efforts to ensure that we exterminate those threats to our democracy. The Peace Patriot Declaration is not a magic wand to ensure a peaceful environment.
Okay, thank you so much. Ebusha for Rich Raymond Edem Tamaklo and a nemiano was in paying so no na and somewhere beto ja di home como a NDC and chairman, national chairman Johnson Stadium Ketian some of the beto a NDC won't sign peace declaration ahead of election as some more car, you know, so and Edem Agbana and so Eddie to Joseph Mahama is the fixer into Edem Agbana, and so thoughts on that, no, and no, na, and then me da ashafuni na so I say Edem, yeah, that's a pa.
I want to apologize to our viewers for not being able to speak the language they understand best, which is the tree. I promise that I will go and learn the tree properly and come back some other time to engage them in the tree language. Yeah, thank you for having me.
Me patrol Peace Council I release it where it says that they will engage NDC. I mean on their concerns, all the concerns they will address the same patrol. Almost so no nyesebia omo ama omo sisi o mason almost release it says so yes omo sisi o mason that's omo sisi o mason.
They have not spoken about
and
the killings.
They said they are going to address all the concern issues.
They have not spoken about the abrasive communication from
Madam Winina I say na Adam esa pese as I call back na ye twetwe enkomo no ebi asada kese enkomo obi bia oji adwa o share dwumade yi se ne so say you stream live on Think TV live on Think TV live on YouTube and Think TV Facebook and so you will hold them so and a view points with Abenachi watching YouTube. I am Abena one on TikTok and Facebook Abenachi. Watch I said I can see and call my anyone and they didn't say oh so I know messages no me a day may address in so Eddie I'm moving forward you know you know but I can kind na ya beja for no more better so Eddie I mean Eddie am my na and they fear that they be my na ho na ye ye we do them in moderation and think no no some fan ko tutu ya saying and to make a tente ye biano. Let's be careful. You can't say Ghana a peaceful country. Indeed, a peaceful day. And also was said you have a role to play in terms of what's an asset can afford you arms. And as I said, you look at why Dibia and Fata I do Uyeni. But the entire cruise was like I say, a common na say, my boy Chidom, I make me I yes successful into me producer, Medana Sepa, Yami Insurano. Me, I'm saying, don't be maybe a hook, me did it. I've been at sea, watch it. No pain, no spin, no fluff, just fact.